So, let's start with the Stanley Parable. I'm super excited. Because I've heard this game should be quite funny. And...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Okay.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Easy.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
The end.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Oh no.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh. Okay, we're in the game. Oh, okay. Oh, we're fast, we're flash, look at us.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is this the meeting room? I hate Monday. Same. Monday is just the worst day of the week.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, can I jump? No, I can't. Yeah, so there are no people here. Maybe in room 429? No. Oh?
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
There's an achievement?
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay. So I'm gonna just click the door 20 times. Okay, to be honest, I'm not even counting.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
50!
Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Are you serious? 50 clicks? Okay. So we're doing 50 clicks. This is what makes you happy. Eight, 9, 10. Okay, yeah. So we can close these. This is locked as well. Why is there paper on the ground? White windows. All right. Oh, a yellow box. We can't zoom in. Oh no, what have I done? I just turned off the monitor. So there are more offices. More working spaces. Everything's locked.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The door on his left, you say? But what are you gonna do if I take the right
This was
door?
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Have we changed our future now?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
True,
It
yeah.
had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah, this is a nice little,
Yes.
Room to take a break.
Really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
first opened on his left. This looks dangerous. What about this way? This looks dangerous too. This looks more safe, to be honest.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I mean, I was just doing my job, and since everyone's gone now, I can do whatever I want, right? So why keep following orders? When you now can live out your freedom in your own way. Do not to jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death. Well, penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000, and penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. So if you jump off and you survive, you have to pay a penalty of $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that
Can
the
I really
story has
fall
been
off
about nothing
here?
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Oh, I can't.
Someone
Oh,
you've
no.
forgotten. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform
Hi,
and
Jade.
plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh, oh my god. I didn't actually think that I could jump.
All of his co-workers were gone.
That I
What did
could
it
jump
mean?
down there.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So the story is starting again. Oh, what is happening?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, you know, we did this once. And we're gonna do it twice. Disobeying the narrator. Choosing the right door. Chat, right or left door, you decide. So, right, okay. So we're going
This
right.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Ah, yes.
Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was
True.
now too horrible even to consider.
Yeah, I totally agree. Very good room, yeah. Very cozy.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, I mean, their paintings are not too bad, even though they look more like photographies. But there's some
At this point, Stanley, but at last, he'd had enough of the
There's
amazing
some
room and
real
took the
talented
first open door on his
artists
left to get back to
out there.
business.
Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, so one second try. Let's go. And this time,
Look, Stanley,
we're not
I
going
think
to
perhaps
jump
we've
down
gotten
there.
off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wait, stop crying and tell me who's her. Oh? Oh my god.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, okay, chill. Where'd you
Oh,
say?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread
Okay,
out of
move.
the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit
Yeah.
their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Thought I had a family.
This
No.
is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Wait, that? Press M on your keyboard. Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press 2.
Look at him there,
Oh.
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry
You're
for him,
describing my
except that he's
life.
chosen this life.
Except for that I'm not pushing buttons all day.
But in his
But
mind,
writing numbers
in
and
his mind,
letters.
he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press A to watch TV. There's not even a TV here. Oh, never mind. Okay, so
And so he
you watch
began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Are we dreaming? Or is this the reality?
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
The end. Thank you, guys. It was nice to have you here.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
And instead of playing one more time, I'm just here and pressing
But there is no answer.
numbers.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop.
I mean,
Here,
who are
watch this.
you?
Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press N to be at work in the morning. But the narrator says that I should not press the button. But if I wanna be at work in the morning, maybe I should. Oh, my wife is gone. Okay.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Well, just, give me a mirror. Press I to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
And I died. Yeah. Okay, so this was it has been all a dream. We're back, guys. Alright, here we go again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Turning off all the computers. We have to save energy. Awaiting input. Input received. Okay. Weird. Yeah, whatever. We'll just keep going on.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But on the right side there was a path which we haven't explored yet. So maybe we should try this first before doing the thing the narrator wants us to do. Yeah.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Yes.
What was it about? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yep. And this is what we're gonna do.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Are we gonna get back on track? Or do we press the red button and get down? The temptation is real. Okay, you know what? We're probably coming back. Oh no. Oh god, no. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting room. Meeting schedule. So that's a busy plan. What's this? bi-quarterly. Post review. Oh look! Some nice art. Throw something in the ideas bin. 10 or no more bins. Trash cans. 20 renaming of the ideas on, and 30 firing of me. Ideas bin. Ah, yeah, okay. Rate of increase in grass per slide. Oh, who's changing the slides? Please no more charge a big stuff. Oh, whoa, okay. To do. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but... Oh, come on! What are your dreams for the future? Talk radio, might assist, success, planned life, oh yeah, I can relate to this. Okay. Wait, what did it say? Broom closet?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
You're a liar! Look, there's the broom, there's...
There was nothing
some
here.
tape.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
But maybe this broom closet is a portal into another world.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
I'm not
He
sitting.
wasn't even doing anything.
I'm
At least
staying.
if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
What's FA? Yeah, okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But what is downstairs? I want to go downstairs. Okay. Some red light.
But
Oh, there's
Stanley
a
just
car.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a
yeah.
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Don't make my head
Very
hurt.
odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
I should have taken the stairs.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt,
upstairs.
that this was in fact a dream.
The
Did the
boss
voice
office.
not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am okay. I am happy. Oh, here I am. Everything's not fine.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, God, finally. I meant, oh no.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
A woman? Wait, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself,
Oh no.
and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this.
Can you
and
really
in a
tell
certain
what is
way,
real and
seeing
what
this
is
man
not?
made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wait, did you call the police? And here we are, back again, and yet there is so much more to explore. Don't forget to leave a like and a follow. See you in the next part.